Welcome back, everybody. Today we're back with part 2 of our loot from 5,000 hard clues. So as always, smash that subscribe button if you're new. We're back then with part 2 of the 5,000 hard clue opening. So let's get right into it then. So first up then we have 209k, we reroll into 101k, 4.2 mil, 188k, we reroll into 98k, and 942k, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil in the master, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 385k, 340k in a cookie, 169k, reroll into 116k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 128k, reroll into 212k, 371k, 82k, reroll into 177k, 120k, 175k, 1.4 mil in the master, 1.8 mil, 142k, reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 613k, 172k and a Ashbrook, we'll take that. 131k reroll into 3 mil, 2.1 mil, 353k reroll into 94k, 152k reroll into 131k, 1 mil, 163k, 190k reroll into 132k. And next up then 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 109k reroll into 295k, 155k, 185k, 951k, 182k reroll into 267k, 105k, 121k reroll into 152k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 91k reroll into 4.2 mil, 384k, 922k, 3.2 mil, 118k reroll into 138k, 1.1 mil, 97k reroll into 1.1 mil again, 1 mil, 6 mil, 125k reroll into 1 mil, 89k, 1.1 mil, 131k reroll into 1 mil, 179k, 1.1 mil, 343k, 152k reroll into 176k, 176k again, 1.1 mil, 114k reroll into 2 mil, 320k, 1.1 mil, 152k reroll into 918k, 134k, 163k reroll into 1 mil, 129k, 181k, 1.2 mil, 932k, 1.1 mil, 103k reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 268k reroll into 1 mil, 369k, 157k reroll into 1.1 mil, 111k, 1 mil in the master, 973k, 1 mil, 98k reroll into 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 180k, we reroll that one into 173k, 793k in a master, 173k reroll into 1 mil, 67k, 130k reroll into 90k, 155k, 197k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 184k in a master, 98k we reroll into 1.2 mil, at 1.8 mil, 135k reroll into 105k, 1 mil, 422k, 2.1 mil, 4.5 mil, that's super nice, 216k we reroll into 734k, 177k reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil again, 3 mil, 2 mil, 96k reroll into 1 mil, and 904k, 118k, sorry, 1.1 mil even, 256k reroll into 94k, reroll into 97k, super low. And then next up then we have 1.1 mil and another Oshrock, we'll take that for sure. 840k in a master, 173k, reroll into 147k, 171k, 1.1 mil, 110k, reroll into 1 mil, 135k, 411k, 2.1 mil, 135k, reroll into 158k, 2 mil, 1 mil, 115k, reroll into 154k, 995k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 211k, reroll into 120k, 1 mil, 129k, reroll into 112k, 137k, 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 1 mil in the master, 146k, reroll into 167k, reroll into 620k, 228k, 123k, 1 mil, 163k, reroll into 122k, 2 mil, 83k, we reroll that one into 555k, 73k, 95k, 147k, reroll into 93k, 149k, 150k, 1 mil, 120k, reroll into 1.2 mil, 112k, 203k, 203k in a master, 998k, 127k, reroll into 107k, 923k, 1 mil, 1.8 mil, 1 mil, 128k, reroll into 408k, reroll again into 160k, 265k, 146k, reroll into 3 mil, 129k, at 1 mil, 153k, reroll into 1.1 mil in the master, 176k, 172k, 1.9 mil, 1.5 mil, 955k, 1 mil, 108k, we reroll into 304k, reroll again into 1.1 mil, 4.2 mil, 119k, we reroll into 153k and another Oshkosh, nice. 177k, 4.6 mil, 430k, 145k, reroll, 139k, 1.5 mil, 1 mil, 150k, reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 126k, reroll into 265k, 187k, 119k, 171k, reroll into 59k, that's super low, 222k, 121k, 101k, reroll into 133k, 143k, 3.9 mil, 2 mil, 84k, we reroll that one into 108k, 102k, 293k in a master, 91k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 89k, we reroll that one, 212k, 1.1 mil, 192k, 122k, we reroll into 1.2 mil, 530k, 1.4 mil, 136k, reroll into 145k, 1 mil, 105k, 511k, 169k, we reroll into 144k, 224k, 2 mil, 517k, 129k, reroll into 1 mil in the master, 200k, reroll into another Shadow Die. Let's go. That's what we want to see. That's huge GP, just over a billion for that one then, so absolutely whopper. And we still have 3,793 left to open then as well, so that's huge GP. That's a great start to this one then. So yes, we got one on last week's opening, and then we have one here already, nice and early. So especially after us going for over 5k dry on the last one then, so we'll take that for sure. Let's see if we can get the back-to-back though. 1.5 mil, never lucky, but yeah, we'll take that for sure. Let's get back into it then. Let's see what we can get. So we can get a few more. If we can get more log rest, then I'd be absolutely delighted with this one. So 219k, 115k, reroll into 112k, 166k, 2 mil, 99k, we reroll into 107k in a master, 160k, 128k, 85k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 122k, 756k in a master, 1.2 mil, 194k, but reroll into 1 mil, 107k, 95k in a master, 718k, 324k, reroll into 281k, at 1.1 mil, 83k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 125k, reroll into 161k, 170k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 197k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 2 mil, 89k, reroll into 159k, 183k, 107k, 146k, reroll into 109k, at 1 mil in the master, 178k, 410k, 1.1 mil in the master, 1.6 mil, 2.4 mil, 1 mil in the master, 1.1 mil, 1.2 mil, 103k, reroll into 1.2 mil, 1 mil, 458k, reroll into 309k, reroll again into 1 mil, 129k, reroll into 234k, 2 mil, 222k, reroll into 1 mil, 287k in the master, 1.1 mil, 118k, we reroll into 328k, 895k, 1.7 mil, 87k, we reroll into 95k, 417k, 154k, 402k, 934k, 103k, reroll, 207k, 330k, reroll into 1 mil, 6 mil, 2 mil, 213k, reroll into 441k, 1.3 mil, 91k, 6 mil, 135k, reroll into 98k, 152k, 1 mil, 1 mil, 122k, reroll to 125k in a master, 330k, reroll into 122k, 141k, 2 mil, 248k, we reroll into 218k, at 1 mil, 108k, 1 mil, 118k, we reroll that one into 4.5 mil, 1 mil, and a Oshbrock, we'll take that for sure, at 1.3 mil, at 1.9 mil, 1 mil again, 86k, reroll into 1 mil, 2.9 mil in the master, 954k, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil, 189k, we reroll into 202k, reroll again into 1.2 mil, 2 mil in the master, 69k, we reroll into 568k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 2.1 mil, 1.3 mil, 509k, 117k, we reroll into 726k, 141k, reroll into 1 mil, 1.9 mil, 168k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 126k, 93k, we reroll into 78k, 135k in the master, 93k, at 2 mil, 105k, we reroll that one into 131k, 182k, 143k, reroll into 1 mil, at 1.1 mil, 1 mil again, 88k, reroll into 1 mil, 173k, 132k, 182k, reroll into 97k, 98k, 175k, 1.1 mil and another Oshbrock, 1 mil, 2.1 mil, 1.1 mil, 132k, reroll into 125k in a master, 151k, reroll into 136k, 1.1 mil, 182k, reroll into 2 mil, so we'll take that. 276k, 75k, reroll into 161k. And then next up then 3 mil, 125k, 2.5 mil, 215k, we reroll that one into 1.8 mil. 330k, 123k reroll into 150k, 2 mil, 75k, 1 mil, 3.1 mil, 212k reroll into 178k, 162k reroll into 101k, 1.1 mil, 1.5 mil, 185k reroll into 6.9 mil. That's super nice. 76k, 145k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 1 mil again, 941k, 1.1 mil another master, 123k reroll into 414k, 1 mil, 157k reroll into 635k in the master, 133k reroll into 82k at 1.1 mil and another Oshback. So 184k reroll into 362k at 1 mil and a cookie. 160k reroll into 1.1 mil and another master. 106k, 151k, 254k reroll into 163k. 172k, 3.2 mil, 983k, 1.1 mil, 201k reroll into 1.1 mil, 173k reroll into 125k, 129k, 2 mil, 1.1 mil, 596k, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 274k reroll into 3 mil. That's super nice. 157k in the master, 108k reroll into 598k, 3.1 mil, 1 mil, 1.9 mil, 1.1 mil again, 166k reroll into 2.1 mil, 114k reroll into 962k, 201k reroll into 1 mil, 720k, 412k, 96k reroll into 150k, 117k, 224k reroll into 64k. That's super low. 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 6 mil. It's nice. We'll take that. 193k reroll into 133k in a master. 1.1 mil. 107k. That's a reroll into 2.1 mil. 1 mil. 145k. 85k in a master. 582k. 151k. We reroll that one into 157k. 2 mil. 106k. We reroll into 149k. 130k. 1.2 mil. 1.1 mil, 196k. We reroll that one into 80k. So it's another super low one there, unfortunately. So then next up, then 351k and another cookie. 1.9 mil, 125k. We reroll that one into 4 mil. Super nice. 141k in a master. 2.1 mil, 100k. We reroll that one into 104k in a master. 2.1 mil, 155k, we reroll into 1 mil, 184k, 123k, reroll into 149k, 3.1 mil, 64k, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 75k, reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 138k, reroll into 1 mil, 280k, 127k, we reroll into 1 mil, 144k, 140k, 1.8 mil, 1.1 mil, 116k, reroll into 1.1 mil, at 2 mil, we'll take that, at 1.1 mil again, 2 mil, 106k, reroll, 154k, reroll again, 130k, 875k, 163k, 149k, reroll into 369k, 175k, 4.5 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 117k, reroll into 135k, 152k, reroll into 1 mil. And then next up then we have 3.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 167k, we reroll that one into 999k, 73k, 482k, 180k, reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil again, 1.1 mil, 97k, we reroll into 1.8 mil, 4 mil, 98k, 1 mil, 84k, we reroll into 101k, 1 mil, 126k, reroll into 487k, 1.1 mil, 1.4 mil, 1 mil, 135k, reroll into 1 mil, 123k, 1.1 mil, 2 mil, 2 mil on a master, 143k, we'll reroll into 464k, 1.2 mil another master, 135k, reroll into 95k, 1.1 mil, 403k, 1 mil, 152k, reroll into 414k, 119k, we'll reroll again into 111k, 142k and another Oshprock, 155k, reroll into 1 mil, 150k, 85k, 84k, that's a reroll into 1.1 mil, 270k, 1.1 mil, 932k, 109k, we'll reroll that one into a 148k, 111k, 94k, we'll reroll into 420k, 1.1 mil, 4.2 mil in the master, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 136k, reroll into 905k, 485k, 70k, reroll into 111k, 1 mil, 111k, we'll reroll into 146k, 1.1 mil, 1.7 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 91k, reroll into 139k, reroll again into 253k in a master, 93k, 1.1 mil, 122k, reroll into 141k, 145k, 151k, at 2 mil, 259k, we'll reroll into 133k, at 1 mil, 1.1 mil in the master, 136k, we'll reroll into 1.3 mil, and that's some gilded legs, at 107k, at 1 mil in another master, 120k, reroll into 1 mil, at 72k, 117k, we'll reroll into 127k, and then gilded legs, they were third age miss there as well, unfortunately. So next up then 1 mil, 1 mil, 123k, we reroll that one into a 137k, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 2.5 mil, 1 mil again, 4.6 mil in the master, that's super nice. 109k, we reroll into 1.9 mil. Then next we have 110k, reroll into 6 mil, we'll take that for sure. 191k, 132k, reroll into 1.6 mil and another Oshprock. Nice. 441k, 922k, 158k, we'll reroll that one into 1.2 mil. 464k, 447k, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 81k, we'll reroll that one into 2.9 mil, and 1.1 mil, 293k, and another Oshprock. Nice. We're popping off with the Oshprocks now. 143k, reroll into 4.2 mil, another master. 101k, reroll into 78k. 120k, 1 mil. 172k, we reroll that one into 1 mil. At 1.6 mil, 1.6 mil again. 136k, reroll into 163k. 123k, at 1 mil, 158k, reroll with 263k, at 2 mil, 1 mil, 217k, reroll into 804k, at 3 mil, 157k, 151k, reroll into 141k, and next up then 160k, 207k, 1.3 mil, 1 mil, 118k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 112k in a master, 1 mil, 114k another master, 164k, reroll into 1.9 mil, 1 mil, 113k, reroll into 1.3 mil, 1.2 mil even, 103k, reroll into 1.9 mil in the master. Next up then 1 mil, 2.4 mil, 228k, reroll into 126k, 144k, 915k and a master, 148k reroll into 296k, 119k. Then next up, then we have 1.1 mil, 4.1 mil. That's huge. 110k reroll into 1 mil. 87k, 124k in the master, 1 mil. 129k reroll into 130k. 2 mil, 1.1 mil, 3 mil, 4.2 mil. 100k, reroll into 159k, reroll again into 1 mil. 266k, 129k, reroll into 123k, 1.1 mil. 231k, 1.1 mil. 115k, we reroll into 156k, 1 mil. 106k, reroll into 269k, 1 mil. 108k, 214k, we reroll into 148k, 95k, 194k in a master, 150k in another master back to back, 163k reroll into 145k, 1 mil. 127k, we reroll that one into 129k, 1 mil. 1 mil again, 1.1 mil. 188k reroll into 3.1 mil, 88k, 1.9 mil. 133k reroll into 1 mil. 94k in the master, 211k, we re-roll that one in 273k. That's 433k, 179k, 105k, re-roll into 3.1 mil. 948k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 904k, 1 mil, 134k, re-roll into 260k, re-roll again into 116k and a master. 1 mil, 158k, 133k, reroll into 290k and a master. 1 mil, 2 mil in the master, 1.1 mil, 174k, reroll into 146k, 120k, 1.8 mil, 155k, reroll into 143k, 165k, 105k, reroll into 150k, and 95k, 972k, 86k in a master, 2.1 mil in another master back to back, 138k reroll into 178k, 1.9 mil, 142k reroll into 4.2 mil, 1.1 mil, 135k reroll into 1.1 mil, 109k, 2 mil, 140k in a master, 72k reroll into 1 mil, 383k, 1 mil, 124k will reroll into 187k. 1.3 mil, that is another third age mist then with the Gilded Tide Shield. 932k, 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 91k will reroll into 1.1 mil. 86k reroll into 138k, 98k, 69k reroll into 1 mil, 147k, 256k, 225k reroll into 177k, 6 mil, a master and a Oshprock as well. We'll take that. That's a huge casket. 115k, 559k, 160k reroll into 2.1 mil, 181k, 1.1 mil, 342k. We'll reroll that one into 1.8 mil. We'll take that for sure. 67k, 160k reroll into 75k, 244k, 3.5 mil. 132k reroll into 1.2 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 171k reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 112k reroll into 167k, 3.2 mil in the master, take that, 126k, 431k, 113k reroll into 218k, 1 mil, 159k reroll into 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 136k, 84k reroll into 1 mil, 133k, 1 mil again, 425k, and another third age miss with Gilded Legs then again. 111k reroll into 2.1 mil, 1.5 mil, 1 mil, 1.2 mil, 146k, we reroll into 92k, 113k, reroll into 155k, 3.2 mil, 134k, 1.1 mil, 192k, reroll into 1.1 mil the master, 2 mil, 88k, we reroll that one into 142k at 1.1 mil, 126k, 967k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 4.6 mil, 251k, reroll into 1.5 mil, at 182k, we reroll that one into 178k, at 141k, we reroll into 73k, at 1 mil, 3 mil, 117k, reroll into 107k, 323k, 1.1 mil, 124k, reroll into 367k, 114k, 176k, 178k in a master, 119k, we reroll that one into 1 mil, 2 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 551k, 1.1 mil, 162k, we reroll into 177k, reroll again into 112k in a master, 6.9 mil, that's a huge one, 234k, reroll into 1 mil, 103k, 136k, 1 mil, 381k, 71k, we reroll that one into 179k, 929k, 1 mil in the master, 180k, we reroll that one into 155k, 1.9 mil, 179k, reroll into 159k, 1 mil, 247k, reroll into 113k, 219k, 4.5 mil, 126k, reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 112k in a master, 1.1 mil, 1.8 mil, 408k, 1.9 mil, 149k, reroll into 4.5 mil, 124k, reroll into 161k, at 1 mil, 260k, reroll into 174k, 931k, 900k, 2.6 mil, and another third age miss, another rune plate body gilded. And next then, 87k will reroll in 250k in a master, 1.1 mil, 134k reroll into 1.2 mil, 119k, 153k we reroll into 147k in a master, 122k, 1 mil, 1.6 mil, 232k we reroll into 408k, 8 mil, 124k reroll into 2 mil, 178k, 1 mil, 179k we reroll into 175k, 97k and a cookie, 140k, 114k we reroll into 1 mil, 2 mil, 143k, 3.2 mil, 1 mil, 895k, 1.9 mil, 177k and another Ashbrook, 120k reroll into 156k, reroll into 1 mil, 2 mil, 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 149k in a master, 1 mil, 74k reroll into 410k, 113k reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 197k, we reroll that one into 126k, reroll again into 1 mil. 1 mil in the master, 163k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 182k, reroll into 222k, 1.1 mil and another Ashbrook, we'll take that. 128k, reroll into 136k, 1.1 mil, 2 mil, 1.5 mil, 1.1 mil again, 1 mil, 96k, reroll into 277k in a master, 316k, 1 mil, 577k, 1.2 mil, 2.2 mil, 108k, reroll into 69k, reroll into 1.2 mil, 498k, 232k in a master, 451k, 203k, reroll into 1.4 mil, 110k, we'll reroll that one into 157k, reroll into 1 mil, 147k, 279k, 117k, reroll into 96k, 148k, 113k, and an Oshproc, 115k, reroll into 69k, 1 mil, 211k, 4.2 mil, like that, 127k, reroll into 1 mil, 192k, 120k, we'll reroll that one then into 193k in a master, 142k, 264k, 135k, reroll into 185k, 146k, 337k, 2.1 mil, 2 mil, 152k reroll into 4.5 mil. It's a super nice one. And next up then we have 1 mil, 330k, 102k, we'll reroll that one into 1.3 mil, 113k, reroll into 6 mil. That's a super nice casket. 1.1 mil, 85k in a master, 146k, we'll reroll that one into 1 mil. 101k, 145k, 1.1 mil, 199k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 602k, 72k, reroll into 334k, 114k, we'll reroll into 1.1 mil, 150k, 394k, 546k, 95k, that's a reroll into 115k, 127k, 908k, 88k, we'll reroll that one into 421k. So 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 131k, reroll into 108k, 119k, 1 mil, 102k, we'll reroll into 1.1 mil, 380k, 2 mil, 1 mil, 397k, 2 mil, 2.1 mil, 166k, reroll into 167k, reroll into 165k, 173k, reroll into 158k, 1 mil, 178k, 140k in a master, 966k, 174k reroll into 579k, 136k reroll into 1.9, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 88k, we'll reroll that one into 1 mil, 180k and a master, 109k, 2 mil, 1.1 mil, 508k, 233k, we'll reroll that one into 1.1 mil, 433k, 92k, reroll into 116k, 1.1 mil, 4.2 mil in the master, 1.1 mil, 172k, we'll reroll into 98k, reroll again, 183k, 163k, 1.8 mil in the master, 372k, 1.2 mil, 3.2 mil, 1.1 mil again, 115k, we reroll into 1 mil, 187k in a master, 83k, we reroll into 913k, 128k, we reroll into 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil again, 463k in a master, 164k, reroll into 1 mil and another master, 2.9 mil, 156k, reroll into 1.1 mil, 114k, we reroll that one into 88k, 1 mil, 159k, 69k, that's a reroll into 91k, 71k, 167k, 126k, we reroll into 1 mil in the master, 1.2 mil, 1.2 mil, 453k, 784k, 1 mil, 92k, we reroll into 163k, reroll into 191k, 1.1 mil, 103k, 126k, reroll into 1 mil, 121k, 155k, 148k, reroll into 82k, 100k, 206k, 588k, 111k, we'll reroll into 84k, at 2 mil, 111k, reroll into 93k, at 138k to master, 173k, 1 mil, 128k, we'll reroll that one into 117k, 173k, 1 mil, 2 mil, 163k, we'll reroll that one into 1.6 mil, 367k at 1 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.9 mil, 4.5 mil in the master, 6 mil, 343k in another master, 110k we'll reroll into 4.1 mil, 92k we'll reroll into 134k, reroll again into 130k at 3.1 mil, 2 mil, 1 mil, 60k we'll reroll into 184k, reroll again into 97k at 1.4 mil, 1.1 mil, 1 mil, 94k we'll reroll into 131k, 1 mil, 1 mil again, 1 mil again, 141k, reroll into 274k at 1.9 mil, 97k, we reroll into 119k, 80k, 156k in the master, 103k, we reroll into 162k, 3.1 mil in another master, 1.6 mil, 106k, reroll into 952k, 114k, 69k, we reroll that one into 1 mil, 172k in the master, 1 mil again, 201k, we reroll into 1.2 mil in another master, 118k, 140k, 460k, 144k, we reroll into 1 mil, 1 mil, 179k and another Oshkosh, we'll take that. So 322k, we'll reroll that one into 94k, that's unlucky. 6 mil, 183k, reroll into 1.2 mil, 146k, 141k, 2 mil, 139k, we'll reroll into 157k, 121k, 2 mil in the master, 126k, reroll into 127k, at 1 mil, 1 mil again, 2 mil, 2.9 mil, 107k, we'll reroll into 2 mil. And then this last one of the second 1,000 then is 185k, and we will re-roll that one into 164k. So on the second 1,000 then, we're just over 2 billion then in GP, so not too shabby at all. Well, that's another opening done. Subscribe if you're new and comment below if you have any suggestions for future content. Until then, see ya.